Hey, what is up, you guys? It is Haley here from Should You Buy, and I apologize for the late video this week. It's just been a crazy week. But today we are going to be talking about the Apple credit card. So I know you guys really like these credit card videos, so let me know in the comments down below if you want me to review another type of credit card and talk about the pros and cons of certain credit cards. Now, I will say right off the bat, I do not personally have this credit card, nor am I going to apply for this credit card. I don't need this credit card, but it is one of the newer credit cards that a lot of people have been wondering about. So I'm getting a lot of my information from NerdWallet. I will have the link down below to the page or site or whatever you want to call it that we're getting all this information from, so you can definitely read it yourself. I know personally sometimes I like to be able to read what people are talking about, especially information wise. Basically, with the Apple credit card, you have to have an Apple device, either an iPhone or an iPad, to apply for it. So if you are an Android user and you do not have an Apple device, you cannot get this credit card. There's no way to apply for it online. You have to apply for it through the Wallet app. So even if you have an Android phone and you have an Apple computer, you cannot apply for it. There's no way to apply for it on your Apple computer, unfortunately. So that kind of sucks for some people who like the availability of an Android phone, but they like an Apple computer for whatever reason that they want to. So that is one thing. If you're not an Apple user, you cannot get this card. That to me, which I know it doesn't matter for Apple, but that to me kind of cuts off, let's say, half of the population, which makes it really hard for them to make more money from this card, but maybe they don't even care. So with this card, there is 0 annual fee, which is really good. There's a lot of cards out there. There is 0 annual fee. So unless a card gives you amazing rewards for an annual fee, do not get one with one. The one thing that's really nice is they give you 3% cash back on Apple purchases. This includes stuff from the Apple Store, like physical, and stuff that is like apps or like your Apple Music, etc. So if you buy a lot of stuff from the Apple Store physically, or you have like Apple Music, you have stuff through the App Store, this is going to be a really good card for you because you're going to get 3% cash back no matter what it is, as long as it's from an Apple purchase. If you do not buy a lot of stuff from the Apple Store, let's just say like you have an iPhone, this probably isn't going to be a very good card for you because you have to, basically you get 2% cash back on everything else, but you have to make that purchase through Apple Pay. So that's why this credit card is not available for basically other people. It's because you have to have Apple Pay, which is through the wallet, which is through your device. So if you live more in a rural town that a lot of places do not accept Apple Pay, like Walmart does not accept Apple Pay. So if you just have a Walmart, like Target also does not accept Apple Pay. I don't think. I could be wrong on that. Do not quote me. I will look it up and insert here if they do. You will get 3% cash back on Apple purchases, 2% cash back on purchases made through Apple Pay, and then 1% cash back on everything else. So if you are not an avid Apple purchaser, you do not have a lot of places that accept Apple Pay, you will only be getting 1% cash back, which is not the best because you could be getting more than 1% at a lot of other places. Now, for a lot of credit cards, they don't accept that good of a cash back at Apple purchases. So if you shop a lot at Apple, this will probably be a good card for you. Basically, we'll go through this a little bit because here's more of a breakdown. 3% cash back on Apple Pay purchases made directly with Apple, including the Apple Store, within the App Store, and for Apple services. Uber and Uber Eats via Apple Pay. Walgreens and Dwayne Reed purchases via Apple Pay, and in-store T-Mobile purchases via Apple Pay. So those are the ones you're gonna get the 3%. 2%, of course, like I said earlier, all other purchases made via Apple Pay, and then 1% on anything using your physical card. So you do get a physical card with this purchase, or with this credit card. It's not just virtual, just in case your phone dies or something, you will still be able to use that card. Another good thing that I think a lot of other credit card companies should do is you get instant gratification knowing if you have been approved or not or whatever. They're saying on here, Apple says you can apply for the card through the Wallet app on your iPhone in minutes, and you begin using it the moment you're approved. So you do not have to wait for the card to physically come in the mail. You're approved on the app, and you can basically, it's added to your wallet and you can instantly use it. So to me, that's pretty good. You don't have to wait the 7 to 10 business days to receive your card. Of course, you'll still be getting one in the mail. It's also very similar when you start earning and redeeming cash back. So you get your cash back daily. You don't get it back at the end of your billing cycle, which is how a lot of other cards are. And I think this is going to set a new standard, hopefully, for other credit cards on how rewards should be. Getting it maybe not daily, because I mean that might be a little rough, but getting it maybe weekly instead of monthly would be really good. So unlike other credit cards, you don't have to wait for your billing cycle to close to actually get your rewards. Of course, like we said earlier, you live in or travel to cities that have widespread Apple Pay. That can be really good for you. This also, rewards wise, is super, super simple. If you don't like rewards cards that have like 5% for restaurants this month and 2% for restaurants the next month, and where it switches and it changes, this is always going to be the same. It's always going to be the 2% via Apple Pay, 1% everything else, 3% at Apple. It's never going to change. So if you don't like ones that change, this could be something that you prefer. So that's one thing that people are saying they really, really like. It also says on here, Apple says that you won't be charged a penalty rate or a late fee should you miss a payment. The company, however, does note a late or missed payment will result in additional interest accumulated towards the customer's balance. Regardless, NerdWallet recommends you pay in full and on time because late payments can still hurt your credit score. So they don't charge you like the $27 for a late payment. They just give you, I guess it's more interest. Additional interest will accumulate. I don't know exactly what that means, but of course, just like with any other credit card, please pay your full amount on time. It'll help your credit as well, because they will still mark it as a late payment. They're just not charging it like a late payment. So I think that's probably supposed to help if you are a day late and you're like, oh shit, you can pay that next day and you probably won't have as much interest accumulate. I don't know exactly how their interest does accumulate. So that's something. So these are a couple reasons also why you might pass up the Apple Card. Of course, if you're an Android user, because you don't have Apple Pay, so you can't physically apply for it. They're saying if you are an Android user or you have Samsung or Google, etc., they are suggesting the Citi Double Cash Card, etc., etc. You get 2% cash back on all purchases, 1% when you buy and 1% when you pay. So that's one if you're an Android user. Of course, all the links and stuff will be down below for the thing that I'm going off of. If you want travel rewards, obviously you're not going to get them. So if you use it in like a miles card, you're obviously not going to get it. You're going to get cash back instead. If you shop primarily at stores that don't accept Apple Pay, for example, if you shop a lot at Target or Walmart that don't accept Apple Pay, then this probably isn't going to be the card for you, because you're going to get 1% when you can get the Citi Cashback card that we just talked about, the double cashback card, and get 2%. So that's just, cons. This is also saying if you spend heavily in specific everyday categories, for example, if you don't spend a lot at Apple stores, but you spend most of your money at grocery stores and gas, like if you are a family, a better card would be the Blue Cash Preferred card from American Express, because you get 6% cash back at US supermarkets up to $1,000 or $6,000 a year. Then you get 1%, or 6% cash back on US streaming services, 3% cash back at gas stations, on transit, etc., etc. There is an annual fee of $95 for that card, so perhaps you hit a town regularly. The Capital One Savor One cash rewards card has a $0 annual fee, and you get 3% cash back on dining and entertainment. So there are other cards available that do have better cash back, just not for Apple. So if you do get the new phone every year and you buy it directly from Apple, if you do get a new MacBook every so often, this might be good for you. If you'd like to add an authorized user or finance a large purchase, this is not going to be the card for you. You cannot add other users onto this. Unfortunately, it's connected to your phone. Like you can't add your husband or anything on here. So that kind of sucks. There's no introductory APR offer. So it ranges for the Apple Card between 13 and 24%. As of August 2019, of course, I don't know right now. A card with a lengthy zero intro APR, which would be a better option if you are wanting to do something like that. If you are wanting to finance a larger purchase, they would consider the Barclay Financing Visa, which also offers financial on Apple purchases for 6 to 18 months, depending on the amount of the purchase. My husband has used that card and he's really liked it before. Of course, it always differs from person to person and from credit to credit. And we're looking through the comments now here. Someone who say, this is a scam and suffers from bait and switch. Way better cards out there. I make 6 figures, have low debt to income ratio, and a credit score of 810. Yet I got an interest rate of 18%. This card is advertised as low interest. I will not. I hope everyone cancels and avoids this card. There are other better rewards cards available. There are better rewards cards available that you can utilize with Apple Pay. The only people that would benefit from this is Apple. That is true. There are a lot better rewards cards. So if you, I really do, Haley, learn to speak your words. I do think there are other better credit cards out there, especially since you get the best rewards at Apple stores. You get 2% everywhere else, where there's a lot of other cards that give you 2% no matter what, especially if you are a huge Walmart user or Target user, etc., etc. So I'm not really a huge fan on this. That's why, well, that's not the only reason why I didn't apply for this card, and I don't have any personal use for this card. I do like Apple products, but I try to use my Apple products until they die. Like I got this computer right here in, I think, 2014, and it's been 5 years. It works really well. I don't plan on getting another one until it basically dies, and I'll just pay for it outright. It's not worth the hassle for the 3%. But if you do get a new computer every single year, or you spend a lot on the App Store, I don't. The only service I have that's monthly for Apple is my Apple Music, and that's $15 a month. So to me, it's not worth it. Of course, let me know down below if you guys think it is worth it. I really don't. But yeah, that's actually all I have. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave those down below. Also, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, join the Savings Army, never pay retail again. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!